Guys, welcome once again to another tutorial with Build with Mr. Lee. In today's tutorial, we are going to be creating a table in our tushi blog using Eloquent. Unlike the last time when we used DB tables, so we are able to just launch our project. So PHP artisan save. So the last time we were able to add our categories page. So this were coming from our database table. But this case, we want to do it differently. So now we are going to be looking at when we want to use Eloquent, we'll use the MVC architecture, which is the model, view, and controller architecture. So for us to actually use Eloquent, we need to have a model. A model is like a blueprint for our table. Then we have the controllers and we have the view. We've actually talked about view and controllers, but we've not talked about model. So for us to look at for model, we are going to create our first model, which is using the command php artisan make column model, and the name of our model will be category. That's the name of our model. Then we are going to be using the flag for M and C. Now this flag MC actually is telling the model that is going to be made to have controllers and migration files. So migration to create a table, then the controller should have a category controller. So this is an all-encompassing command that will create both the model category, create a table called categories, and also create a controller called categories controller. So let's click enter. So you see a table has been created, and let's go to, first of all, let me collapse all these guys. So you see database, you're going to see migrations. And your migration, you're going to see a new table that has been created called category. And this table by default has ID and timestamps. Then if you go to your app HTTP controllers, you're going to see a new controller called category controller. So, and also in our models, we are going to see um, category.php, which is the category model. So most importantly, you're going to see that you didn't actually have to add controller to the category. What you just specified there was category, but Laravel by default does the controller adding to the category, and also your table, you did not have to specify it as a um what's it called, plural. Laravel automatically made it plural for you. And take note, when you're creating your model, the first letter is capital letter because you're creating the model is a class. If you check here, you see. So a class is always start with capital letters. So once you've done that, now we need to go to our database. On our database, the migration file that was created, remember database migration, we check the categories. Now, like our categories, we always have we used what's it called, name. So the last time we made our table manually, we actually created a variable called name. So in this case, we are actually going to a column called name. Same thing here. We're going to create a column here called name, and you see the name. The difference here is that use this variable called table, and we touch this now is the type, which is string. Remember when we were creating our table last time, we saw type, we chose varchar. String is more like a varchar too. So we call the name of the column, which is name, and we are giving it an attribute called unique. Unique in the sense that no two categories can bear the same name. So the name table is unique. So with this also, this timestamps is for created and updated at Laravel adds it by default. So with this, would want to, if you check your local host, you would see that you already have a categories table, which is the one we added manually. So what we want to do now is to migrate fresh, so that the categories will be coming from our migration files here. So for us to migrate fresh, we'll type php artisan migrate colon fresh. So if it drops all the tables existing and create a new table, and that fresh is actually made possible by this down you're seeing here, drop if exist category. So it drops the table and create new tables. So if we check our database, check tushi blog, you're going to see categories table, but right now nothing is in categories table, and you're going to see our id name created at and updated at. So Laravel Eloquent has been able to do that. So we've been able to create our first migration table. Now let's actually insert data to it. So in inserting data, we can actually use this insert here like we did last time, and we put artwork. We can call this and here we can call it business, and we add our time created at and updated at to the time. Then we can just click on go. Let's have two for the moment. Go to your browser and you're going to see two, artwork and business. So the next part is to actually print it in our work, in our categories page, in our category controller. So instead of using our welcome controller this time, we're going to be using a category controller. So category controller, and we're going to have a method called category. So public function category, and instead of using our DB table in this case, we're going to be using our Eloquent model, which is the category. So we type the model, and from the model, we order by like before name, order by name ascending. So what we did here, we didn't actually need to use DB tables, but right now we're using our model, the model category. So that's the power of Eloquent. So you can see by default here, you use app models category. So instead of using the last time we used TP table, but now we're using Eloquent model. So we've been able to use the model category, and we've gotten these items, and we compact the variable categories, and on our page, like before, we use our for each to look through the collection of data, and we store them as category. We print the name, and if we go back to our blog and we refresh, you see that just the two that is showing here. So we've been able to use Eloquent to get data from our Eloquent model, to get data from our database, unlike our DB tables. So that will be it for this video. Thank you for staying till this time. If you like what you're seeing, you can actually click on the like button. You subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also comment if you have any question. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.